A few minutes of morning sunlight can send signals through your body that continue working long after you step back indoors. Your eyes, brain, hormones, sleep rhythm, mood, and energy are all connected to the light entering your environment each day. Yet the same sunlight that can support these systems can become unhelpful when the timing, duration, or exposure is misunderstood. After 40, these daily signals can become especially important because sleep often becomes lighter, energy can fluctuate more easily, and the body may not respond to daily routines quite the way it once did. In this video, you'll discover what sunlight actually does inside the body, why timing can matter, which common habits may be working against you, and how to get the benefits without turning sunlight into another health obsession. And stay until the end, because one simple mistake can completely change the way your body responds to your daily light exposure. Let's start with something surprisingly simple. Sunlight is not just something that warms your skin or helps you see. Light is information. Every morning, your eyes receive information about the environment, and your brain uses that information to help organize the next several hours of your day. Deep inside the brain is a small biological clock that helps regulate sleep, alertness, body temperature, hormones, and many other daily processes. When your eyes detect bright natural light, especially earlier in the day, that clock receives a strong signal that says, essentially, the day has begun. This matters because modern life can confuse that signal. You may wake up, remain indoors, drink coffee under artificial lights, spend hours looking at a computer screen, and only step outside later in the day. Your body is awake, but the environmental signal telling your internal clock exactly where it is in the day may be weaker. That can become noticeable at night. You may feel tired but not sleepy. You may wake during the night. You may wake too early, or you may sleep for 7 or 8 hours and still feel as though your brain never completely recovered. The answer is not always sunlight, of course. Sleep problems can have many causes, but regular exposure to natural light during the day is one of the simple habits that can help reinforce a healthier daily rhythm. And here is the important part. Morning sunlight does not have to mean standing outside for an hour. The goal is not to punish yourself with excessive exposure. The goal is to give your body a clear daytime signal. Opening the curtains helps, but outdoor light is generally much brighter than indoor lighting. So when practical, step outside, sit on a balcony, walk around your yard, take a short walk down the street, have your morning tea outside. The activity itself can be simple. The light signal is what matters. But the real surprise comes next, because sunlight and sleep have a relationship that extends beyond simply making you feel awake in the morning. Your body produces a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin helps prepare the body for sleep, and its production normally rises as darkness arrives. Bright light at the appropriate time of day helps keep this daily rhythm organized. This is one reason spending time in natural light during the daytime and reducing intense light exposure late at night can work together as a powerful routine. Think of it like setting a clock. A clock is easier to trust when it receives regular signals telling it what time it is. Your body has its own clock, and consistency matters. A common mistake is focusing entirely on what happens at bedtime while ignoring what happens from the moment you wake up. People buy blackout curtains, change mattresses, stop drinking coffee late in the day, and adjust their bedrooms, yet they may spend the entire morning in dim, indoor lighting. Good sleep hygiene is not only about darkness at night, it also involves giving the body appropriate light during the day. This is especially relevant as we age. Sleep patterns can naturally change over the years. Deep sleep may decrease, nighttime awakenings can become more common, and small disruptions may have a bigger effect on how rested you feel. A simple morning routine can therefore become more valuable than it appears. But sunlight does something else that deserves attention. Natural light can influence mood and mental alertness. Your brain constantly responds to environmental signals, and light is one of the strongest. Regular daytime light exposure is associated with healthy circadian rhythms, and those rhythms are connected with sleep, mood, and daily functioning. That does not mean sunlight is a cure for depression or anxiety. It is not. Serious or persistent mood symptoms deserve proper medical attention. But there is a reason people often feel different after spending time outdoors. The combination of daylight, movement, fresh air, changing scenery, and separation from screens can give the nervous system a different kind of input. And this becomes especially important when daily life starts becoming smaller. After retirement, working from home, or simply getting older, a person may spend much more time indoors. The morning commute disappears. Walking to a workplace disappears. Errands become less frequent. Hours can pass without meaningful outdoor exposure. The body may not complain immediately. That is what makes habits so powerful. A habit can slowly shape the environment your body experiences every day. So instead of waiting until you feel tired, stressed, or restless, create a reason to step outside early in the day. Walk to the end of the street, water plants, sit outside with breakfast, take the dog out, stretch in the morning air. Small actions can make natural light part of your routine instead of something you have to remember. And this brings us to another misunderstanding. Sunlight is not automatically better simply because there is more of it. This is where the confusion begins. Your body needs light signals, but your skin also needs protection from excessive ultraviolet radiation. Ultraviolet radiation can damage skin cells and contributes to premature skin aging and skin cancer risk. So the goal is not to spend hours in intense midday sun without protection. There is a difference between getting normal daylight exposure and deliberately exposing your skin to excessive ultraviolet radiation. You do not need to turn sunlight into a competition. You do not need to become sunburned. And you do not need to believe that painful redness means your body received a better health benefit. The truth is much more balanced. Natural daylight can be useful for your body clock and daily rhythm, while excessive ultraviolet exposure can damage the skin. Both facts can be true at the same time. This is why practical habits matter. Spend time outdoors during the day, protect your skin when exposure is strong or prolonged, use shade, clothing, and sunscreen when appropriate, and be especially careful if you have a history of skin cancer, take medications that increase sun sensitivity, or have been advised by your doctor to limit sun exposure. There is another reason sunlight becomes interesting after 50, movement. Many people associate sunlight with vitamin D, and vitamin D is certainly important for bone health and normal muscle function. Your skin can produce vitamin D when exposed to ultraviolet B radiation, although the amount produced varies greatly depending on factors such as season, location, skin pigmentation, age, clothing, and sunscreen use. But here is what often gets oversimplified. More sunlight does not automatically mean more vitamin D, and more vitamin D does not automatically mean better health in every situation. Your body regulates many biological processes carefully. If you are concerned about vitamin D, the most reliable approach is to discuss your individual situation with a healthcare professional rather than trying to solve everything by increasing sun exposure. This is particularly important for older adults because maintaining strong bones and muscles is not about one nutrient alone. It is about the whole system: protein, resistance exercise, balance training, adequate nutrition, healthy body weight, sleep, and appropriate vitamin and mineral status. Sunlight can be one piece of that picture, but it is not the entire picture. And this leads to an effect that many people overlook. Going outside often creates movement. You step outside to get sunlight, and suddenly you are walking. You walk for 5 minutes, perhaps 10. Your muscles contract. Your heart beats a little faster. Your joints move through a greater range. That movement itself matters enormously as you get older. Your muscles act almost like metabolic organs. When muscles contract, they can take up glucose from the bloodstream and use it for energy. Regular physical activity can therefore support healthier blood sugar regulation. This is one reason a short morning walk can be more useful than simply standing in the sunlight. You are combining environmental light with movement. And the combination is practical. A person does not need a complicated wellness routine. A pair of comfortable shoes and a few minutes outside may be enough to begin, but do not underestimate consistency. A 20-minute walk once every 2 weeks is not the same as a short daily walk. The body responds to repeated signals, and that principle applies to sunlight too. Another hidden connection involves appetite and daily timing. Your sleep-wake rhythm interacts with hormones involved in hunger, metabolism, and energy regulation. When your daily schedule becomes irregular, eating, sleeping, activity, and light exposure can all become disconnected. That does not mean morning sunlight will make belly fat disappear. It will not. Weight management still depends heavily on overall food intake, activity, muscle mass, sleep, and many other factors. But a consistent daily rhythm can make healthy behavior easier to maintain. When you wake at a similar time, get daylight, move your body, eat regular meals, and wind down at night, your day becomes more predictable. And predictable routines are often easier for the body and the mind to manage. This is where many health plans fail. They are too complicated. People are told to change 10 things at once, drink this, avoid that, exercise at a certain hour, take another supplement, track another number. Eventually, the routine becomes exhausting. A better approach is to build one reliable anchor. For many people, morning outdoor light can become that anchor. Wake up, get dressed, step outside, move for a few minutes, then continue with your day. It sounds almost too simple. But simple habits are powerful precisely because they can be repeated. And there is another benefit to being outdoors that has little to do with sunlight itself. Your brain needs changes in environment. Indoor spaces often provide predictable sensory information. A screen stays in one place, a room stays the same. Artificial lighting remains relatively constant. Outside, your brain receives constantly changing information. Trees move, people pass by, the sky changes, sounds shift, your eyes adjust to distance. Your body navigates different surfaces. Even a quiet walk can give your nervous system more varied information. For an older adult, this can be especially valuable because staying active and engaged with the environment supports confidence and independence. You are not just exercising your legs, you are practicing navigation, balance, attention, and awareness. And that matters, because healthy aging is not simply about living longer, it is about maintaining the ability to do ordinary things. Walking to the store, climbing stairs, getting out of a chair, carrying groceries, going to a park, meeting a friend, taking a trip. Those abilities are built from many small systems working together. Sunlight cannot guarantee them. But a daily outdoor routine can encourage several behaviors that support them. Now let's talk about timing, because this is one of the most useful parts of the entire topic. Early daylight is particularly valuable for setting the body's internal clock. Later in the day, your body naturally begins preparing for evening and eventually sleep. That means the light environment you create at night matters too. A common mistake is getting almost no natural light during the day and then sitting directly in front of bright screens late at night. The brain receives weak daytime signals and strong artificial light signals when it should be preparing for darkness. That is not ideal for everyone. Again, it does not mean you must eliminate every screen after sunset. Real life does not work that way. Instead, create contrast. Make daytime brighter. Make nighttime calmer and darker. Get outside during the day. Dim unnecessary lights in the evening. Keep your bedroom dark and comfortable. And try to maintain a reasonably consistent sleep schedule. These habits work together. If that surprised you, the next point is even more important. Your relationship with sunlight should change depending on the conditions. The intensity of sunlight varies by time of day, season, weather, altitude, geography, and other factors. A cool morning in winter is not the same as intense midday sun in summer. Your skin also responds differently, depending on your individual characteristics. That means there is no universal number of minutes that is perfect for every person. Anyone giving a single exact exposure time to everyone is ignoring important differences. Instead, think in terms of purpose. If the goal is daytime light for your body clock, you can prioritize outdoor daylight without deliberately seeking strong ultraviolet exposure. If you are outside for exercise, consider the sun's intensity and protect your skin appropriately. If you are trying to address vitamin D deficiency, talk with your doctor about whether testing or supplementation makes more sense for you. This approach is safer and more realistic. And there is one more mistake worth discussing. Some people wait for perfect weather before going outside. That can turn a useful habit into an occasional event. Cloudy days are still daylight days. You do not need perfect blue skies to benefit from being outdoors. Of course, very dark weather may reduce light intensity, and severe heat, cold, storms, pollution, or poor air quality may make outdoor exposure uncomfortable or unsafe. Use common sense. The goal is consistency, not perfection. Even a short outdoor routine can become a powerful psychological cue. Over time, your brain begins to associate that routine with the beginning of the day. And once the habit becomes automatic, you no longer have to negotiate with yourself every morning. That is when healthy behavior becomes easier. But before you try this, there is one mistake you must avoid. Do not assume that sunlight can replace medical care. Persistent fatigue, severe sleep problems, unexplained weight changes, ongoing joint pain, memory changes, depression, dizziness, or significant changes in blood pressure or blood sugar should not simply be blamed on a lack of sunlight. Sunlight is part of a healthy lifestyle. It is not a diagnosis, and it is not a treatment for every problem. This distinction is important because health information can become dangerous when a simple habit is presented as a cure-all. The real value of sunlight is much more practical. It gives your body a strong environmental signal. It encourages you to get outside. It can become connected with movement. It can help organize your day. And when combined with good sleep habits, nutritious food, physical activity, social connection, and appropriate medical care, it can become part of a healthier lifestyle. There is also a simple bonus habit you can try. Pair your morning daylight with a few minutes of gentle movement. You do not need a workout. Walk slowly, roll your shoulders, move your ankles, do a few comfortable stretches, take several easy breaths, then continue your normal morning. The advantage is behavioral. One healthy action becomes the trigger for another. Sunlight becomes the cue. Movement becomes the routine. And over time, the routine becomes part of your identity. For someone over 50, that can be more valuable than chasing another complicated health trend. Because aging well is rarely about one dramatic intervention. It is usually about protecting small abilities repeatedly. The ability to wake up with energy, the ability to sleep at night, the ability to walk comfortably, the ability to maintain muscle, the ability to think clearly, the ability to get outside, the ability to remain independent. Those things are connected, and your daily habits quietly influence all of them. So tomorrow morning, instead of thinking about sunlight as something you either get enough of or do not get enough of, think about it as a signal to your brain that the day has started, a signal to your body that it is time to become active, a signal that can help anchor your daily rhythm. Then combine that signal with movement, sensible nutrition, good sleep habits, and appropriate protection from excessive ultraviolet exposure. You do not need to spend hours outside. You do not need to burn your skin. You do not need expensive equipment. And you do not need to make your routine complicated. Step outside. Let your eyes experience natural daylight. Move your body. Pay attention to how you feel. Then repeat it tomorrow and the day after that. Because the most powerful health habits are often the ones that seem almost too ordinary to matter. A few minutes of daylight will not transform your health overnight, but a consistent relationship with natural light can become one small part of a lifestyle that supports better sleep, healthier routines, more movement, and greater independence as the years go by. And perhaps that is the biggest lesson here. Health is not always built through dramatic changes. Sometimes it is built when you open the door in the morning. Sometimes it is built during a short walk. Sometimes it is built by choosing daylight during the day and darkness at night. And sometimes the smallest habit becomes important because you repeat it for years. So take a moment and think about your own routine. How much natural daylight do you usually get during the first part of your day? And do you spend that time sitting indoors or moving outside? Share your answer in the comments. Your experience may help someone else recognize a habit they have never thought about. And if you found this helpful, give the video a like, subscribe for more simple science-based health information, and watch the next video on the habits that can help protect your energy, strength, sleep, and independence as you get older.